now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm also joined by Feroze Aziz, the Deputy CEO of Anand Rathi Wealth. Feroze, we were just talking about how this is going to democratize wealth creation. But my core question to you is, how is this different from the 100 rupee SIPs that are currently existing in the market? What do you think is going to be the larger impact of this? In fact, Mr. 𝐸𝐸𝐻𝐻 was saying that this is going to lead to a massification of mutual funds.
Yes, I personally think yes, I completely concur, Sumita, that there will be a massification. Mutual funds are actually one of the most structured saving mechanisms. Most of the lower strata who are not in the structured saving system would get appealed by this move. But I personally think that, see, just a change in the amount does not create that excitement for the investor in the short run. So this is more of a structural change, which can have very long-term impacts on how India saves. India has been a great saver, but a very bad investor. You see people might have gulags in their almiras. They will have a lot of money stacked up, saved in smaller quantums. So India has been a great savers household, but not a great investors household group. And that's completely apparent in the mathematics of the household savings. Last year, if there were 35 lakhs crores of household savings, only 6% or 7% of that went into equity. And 90% of that was debt and physical assets. So India needs to come into equity in a right proportion. So I think that's a great structural change. So in the next 3-4 years, you will see that this specific move has uplifted the SIP number by at least 8-10,000 crores for whatever it would have been, plus 8-10,000 crores is what I would say. This is a structural change, which is a seed sown today, which SBI has taken a lead of.
Absolutely, Feroze. And given that India's structural story has largely been supported by its domestic investors, this is another shot in the arm, or hopefully will be a shot in the arm as far as domestic investments go. But let me ask you another question before I come to you, Mr. 𝐸𝐸𝐻𝐻. Now, there are some concerns that how will this plan really be viable for mutual fund companies and their bottom lines, given that there are cost and distribution components as well. Does that really bother you?
Doesn't bother me at all, Sumita. Mathematically doesn't bother me. Firstly, see, when you're running a business, there's going to be a lot of economies of scale coming in a business like that. Your variable costs are not as high, because in a fund management business, there are, if you look at the balance sheets and the profit and loss statements of unlisted NBFC, AMCs or listed AMCs, a substantive portion of cost is covered by the incomes from their treasury itself. A couple of unlisted AMCs, which I was looking at, they cover their entire cost largely by their balance sheet size earnings itself, because they're good at investing. They've invested their surpluses, and most of their costs are taken care of. So point one I'm making is AMC is a very, very differently poised business, which has enormous operating leverage. If it has operating leverage, now you can say that let me keep adding to my bottom line, or let's reinvest for the benefit of the industry and the Indian society. And that's what SBI has taken lead. And I wouldn't have been, I could have guessed who would take the lead. And SBI, I've heard Mr. Singh, DP Singh, who is the joint CEO, say it in one of the interviews on your channel when I was there as well.
Right.
I heard him say that I will be the first one to launch it,
right.
Because I don't want to make money in the short term. I want to contribute back to the Indian society, which has made that company what it is.
One final question to you, Feroze, because we're completely out of time on this particular topic. Now, with respect to inflation, how does the 250 rupee SIP amount scale with inflation over time?
I think 250 rupees SIP, I think the number will remain static for long periods of time. Now, inflation could have two impacts. Now, if you're speaking about inflation from an investor standpoint, this is one of these chances to beat inflation. Because India's allocation, actually, if you compute over the last 10 years, work backwards and interpolate what is India making on the 900 lakh crores of household savings, it is sub 7%, and the inflation has been greater. So investors who have been sticking to debt largely, now that Nirmala ma'am has given us the permission to choose our investment and there is no tax swaps in the new tax regime, so equity can be something which person can begin. 250 rupees does not give you sleepless nights. So I think it's a great beginning. So now most of India can beat inflation by getting equity into their portfolio without being too worried about the downsides, because the amounts are small, and it's always good to start small, and conviction builds over time.
Absolutely. Thank you very much on that note, Feroz, for joining us on this edition